We're Martin and Amanda Wadhams on board our new CM46 catamaran Rush here in Knysna, South Africa, where we're picking her up, and I'm going to give you a bit of a walkthrough tour of the boat. Got a solid carbon wrapped longeron that allows tack points for 3 head sails. So we've got the off-wind sails, obviously forward on torsion furlers, the genoa or solet as we call it, a slightly overlapping head sail on the permanent forestay, and then a staysail, which for us was a real must-have item. That's on a torsion cable furler, so we can easily drop that down onto the deck to open up the fore triangle if we're short tacking with the Solent. And the ability to have all 3 sails set up ready to use is, I think, going to be a huge help for the cruising in the way that we'll do it. Allows us to change up or change down as the conditions change very easily, thereby meaning that you can maximise your progress. Dagger boards. Dagger boards are obviously essential really to give you the upwind performance. Boat draws about 1.2 metres with the boards right up, so that's basically rudder depth, and just over 2 metres with the boards right down. And we've actually added a mark there, the yellow mark there, which is with the board down at rudder depth. So if we're going to be manoeuvring in shallow waters, we know that that's where we put the boards so that the rudders are protected. The dagger boards would always touch the ground first. We have bridge deck lockers either side as usual, and our plan is to keep our off-wind sails in those lockers so that we can couple up a halyard and hoist the sails, which are on furlers, straight out of the hatch, ready to use. The rig's about 50% back in the boat, which does several things. Keeps the weight very centralised, which is part of the philosophy of the whole boat. All the decisions are around keeping the weight as centred as possible in order to improve the motion at sea. It also means that you get a big fore triangle for your 3 head sails. We've got here a carbon rotating mast, which basically looks after itself. You can just let that take up its angle and it adds a lot of efficiency, but you can lock it in position or even over rotate it using the control lines. Carbon Y boom gives a nice platform for the mainsail to drop onto in the lazy jacks. The Solent sheets through here, and the staysail sheets to this self-tacking track. You can see how widely the cockpit and the saloon open up to create one great big living space. We really love that. Helm positions on catamarans are always a bit of a thorny topic, and I really do think that this one gives you the best of all worlds. Got twin helm positions, exactly the same on both sides, with hinging pedestals. So this is the up and out position, if you like, which gives you great visibility forward, perfect view of all the sails, and you've even got your electric winch buttons on the pedestal here so that you can control lines as you're reefing or sheeting or whatever. When you're docking, you can stand right up high here, reach the wheel and the throttles easily, see all 4 corners of the boat, so that makes it as easy as it can be. And then the pedestals can be swung inboard, so now you're under the roof, fully covered, out of the sun or wind and rain. You can be fully enclosed with the cockpit tent on, and here of course you can see forward through the windows, and you've got a nice seating position behind the wheel. So this is a great kind of passage making or offshore position. The instruments can be, these plotters can be pointed at whichever helm position you're using, or further forward in the cockpit if you're sat forward. And there's a Nemesis MFD display in the middle there, which allows you to dial up whatever data you want to see at the time. The life raft is stored in a locker under the seat here. There's also a door, a quick release door in the bridge deck, so you can deploy the life raft just by pulling the pin and dropping it out of the bottom of the boat, or of course you can access it from the other side should you ever need to. And by having the life raft here, which is a fairly heavy piece of equipment, it helps keep its weight as centered in the boat as possible. So the cockpit is, well, I think pretty spacious for a boat of this type. Obviously you've got seating area there. There's a pretty big lazarette locker across the stern there. Hatches here which go down into the aft cabins to give ventilation, which is covered by the roof, so of course you can have those open even when it's wet. So to be honest, Amanda and I are pretty blown away by the feeling of space in this part of the boat. I mean, considering this is a 46-foot truly high performance catamaran, the amount of space here really does exceed our expectations. So you've got, obviously, as usual, sliding doors and windows which open up the saloon and the cockpit to make them feel like one joined up living space. So here in the saloon, we've got the nav station, obviously, down the starboard side. Switch panels are hidden with the booze in the locker there. The main electrics system, batteries, inverter, etc., is all under the sofa there. So maybe we'll do a shot later that shows you that with it all opened up. The dining area, well, we chose to have some stools so that you can seat people all around the table, and the table can also be lowered down to seat height to make a watch bed, which is the way we often like to sail. That if there's two of us, and if you're in a busy area, means that somebody can comfortably sleep here and be able to, be ready or talk to the person on watch whenever needed, without having to be dragged out of the bed down below. The galley, I think, well, it's kind of class leading for a boat this size, and as I said, for a performance boat. There's a fridge freezer in here with sort of two compartments, so that can be set to be two freezers, two fridges, or one of each. And a draft fridge over here. We chose to go all electric. It was a bit of a key aim to get gas off the boat. So an induction hob and a combi, microwave, conventional oven, grill job there, and plenty of locker space, as you can see all around. Importantly, these windows, all four across the boat there, open wide, so in hot climates and at anchor you get a huge amount of breeze through the boat. So far we found the boat, even in 30 plus degree temperatures, to be really comfortable here in the Saloon. We've got sort of flexible lighting with red lighting for nighttime use, down lighters and what have you. So all the usual sort of options there. And one thing that I haven't talked about, which is housed here, but is perhaps an important technical part of the boat is we opted for the upside up sheet release system. So basically it's an anti-capsize system. It's just a bit of background peace of mind. We're not intending to drive the boat to the limit at any time, but basically the upside up system has heel and pitch sensors, so that if the boat was trying to capsize, literally when it reaches a preset angle, it fires off all the sheets, drops you back down level. And in addition to that, should you for any reason, you know, like if somebody fell over the side and you just wanted to stop the boat fast, we have manual dump buttons, one in the middle of the saloon here, and there's one on each helm pedestal as well. So, you know, from around the middle of the boat, anybody can very quickly reach and just dump the sheets whenever you want to. So for us, we thought it's a worthwhile peace of mind extra. So all of the furniture is composite foam sandwich, so very, very light, and it's all laminated into the boat itself. So every piece of furniture contributes to the structure and to the stiffness of the boat for minimal weight. And as you can see, the boat's all beautifully fared on the inside, so that there's no need for secondary panelling to hide a mess underneath. It's all, you know, a lovely finish without that. And again, that saves weight throughout the boat. So this is the port side owner's hull of the boat. So good size owner's bunk at the aft end, with lots of natural light and ventilation. And then coming forward under this sofa, which is kind of a nice place to hang out with a view, is actually the engine, or one of the engines. The engines on this boat are well forwards in order to help concentrate the weight in the middle of the boat, which is a feature of lots of elements of the design of this boat. Makes the motion at sea so much better if the weight is centralised. So you've got good access to the engine here, and the thing that I kind of like is that it's completely dry. So whether it's raining outside or you're at sea with waves, you can open up the engine, do whatever you want to do. There's no risk of it getting wet, ending up corroded, and you've got pretty good access to all of the critical parts of the engine. So in order for the engine to be forward, it's a shaft drive, which many people would say is structurally a better option as well. And obviously you've got a similar thing on the other side with the other engine. This is the 3-cabin layout. This is the starboard guest hull, and in the stern it's a mirror image of the owner's suite side. Then moving forwards, you have a heads here in the middle, heads and shower, which is actually a pretty good size for this type of boat, I reckon. Coming forward again, big kind of floor area and hanging locker and stowage here. This is a convertible cabin, which set up at the moment, as you can see, for bunk beds, but you can actually take this bunk, fit it down here to make a double if that's the layout that suits your guests. We're also thinking that we might make a waterproof bag for this cushion, so it can be stored in the bow locker out of the way, and this then makes a great workshop area. Underneath you've got the water maker, and we use this locker for tools and spares storage. And then forward of this bulkhead, mirror image again of the port hull with a large bow locker. Okay, so moving forward in the boat, we've got lockers, hanging locker on this side. Going forward again, Lots of storage over here, wash basin and lockers behind that, and then going forward you step into a really large shower area, which has got well, it's kind of got a seat if that's what you want to use it for, although I've never known what people do with a seat in a shower. We've opted in where we can in the boat for blinds rather than doors. They're light, they're simple, they allow lots of ventilation. So behind there we've got the wet locker for foul gear, weather gear, which drains into the shower base, and the mini washing machine, and forward of that we've got the heads area itself. Okay, so going forward again, beyond this bulkhead, you have access to the bow locker, and there's also access from the deck, of course. So what you can see, so it's a big locker. At the forward end of that, you can see there's a crash bulkhead. So that's already best part of 2 meters back from the bow, and also under the floor the boat's divided up into separate watertight compartments, so should you make a hole in the boat in the bow or in the hull, the flooding is very contained and safe.
I reach the sunset someday, no worry, free in your arms and cruising the yacht, yeah. I feel fine, with you by my side. Hold me now.